Check, baby, check, 1, 2. Welcome Dr. Matt to the house. Dr. Mitt, Dr. Mitt 7. Dr. Matt 7. Dr. Moat, I don't even know what it means. Good morning as we get started here. Good morning, everybody. Give us a second here as Pedro comes on in the background. We get the couple of other feeds running here. Bring up the X feed. Thanks everyone watching on X. Thanks for Dr. Matt watching us on Kick. Who knew that Kick would be beating the pants off YouTube in viewership? How about that? How about that? All right, everybody, let's get this show going. good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show called DYOR Live, just like it says on the masthead right there. DYOR Live. It means we're live, we're not pre-recorded, we're not botted up like some other of these shows on Rumble. Our viewers are authentic. So if you're an advertiser, get your money into our pockets. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it is January 15th, 2026. My good friend, Mr. Pedro Garcia, is somewhere around that box right there. He'll be with us in just a moment here. I've got, I was watching Crypto Lifer on the other screen there, but that ended. They'll just watch us then. How about that? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, January 15th, 2026. Bitcoin's holding right around in the 96,000 area. You can see in the chart right above me, 96.6. Is it going to keep holding there on its way to 100,000 like Pedro and I think? Or is it going to retrace and start its way down to 80,000? What's coming of that? Is it going to go up first before it dumps on us? It's going to dump on us. We all know it. we just have that feeling that something's going to come. A bad Supreme Court ruling's going to happen. Another war's going to break out. Another war won't start. Crude oil taking a dump after people realized that we were not going to invade Iran. They're like, darn it. Peace broke out. Anyway, and some other fun news. Ransomware has moved to Polygon. That's right. Ransomware people that lock up your computer. You have to send money to a certain address. Figured out how to use Polygon smart contracts to now do that. So those scammers will figure out anything. Anyway, Pedro, what's happening?
Not much, man. I cannot complain. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just can't see you.
Oh yeah. I'm still trying to get this thing up and running. I don't know why it's being.
After years of doing this.
My phone has literally just decided it wanted to stop. Verizon had that outage last night. It shut out for whatever reason. It's cool. I've had issues all day.
Yesterday in the middle of the show, we dropped the stream, and then I couldn't figure out why. Our holding screen just came back on, and I was like, well, that's weird. And it turns out is one of the things that I do is I sometimes run the stream through our virtual private server, which is in New York City.
Which is Verizon.
And I got a note from them saying that from the data center saying, hey, certain VPSs that are served by Verizon were out for 10 minutes yesterday. And I was like, no kidding.
But it threw everything off. I honestly think it was maybe an attack by either Russia or China or North Korea, and they're just
wouldn't be surprised at all. Would not be surprised.
It's the truth. Come on, why is this being a dish? Just be cool, honey bunny. There you are. Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool. Know what that's from?
No.
That would be from that epic scene at the very end of Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool. Be cool, honey bunny.
That isn't a messed up movie. I mean, my God. That movie. I mean, you almost had to be stoned just to follow it because they don't tell the story in order. Oh God!
It's Quentin Tarantino, man. You gotta love his stuff. Quentin Tarantino, genius of a storyteller. I saw an interview with him, and it was actually really interesting to hear. It was about that one with Robert De Niro, the slave master. Talking about.
I don't think. I didn't see that.
And just hearing how epic of an actor, not Robert De Niro. What's his name? No, just said his name. Wow, whatever. Okay. Anyways, they were just simply saying that there's one of the actors who's absolutely just a phenomenal actor. and you have two seasoned actors. Samuel L. Jackson. Wow. Samuel L. Jackson interacting with the guy who doesn't like dating girls over 30. Why am I forgetting his name? He was in Basketball
all of
Diaries.
Hollywood.
Basketball Diaries. Holy crap, for whatever. Oh, the actor. Starts with a D. But I keep saying
DiCaprio?
DiCaprio. Holy crap. DiCaprio. There's this moment where DiCaprio shoves a huge glass through his hand in the scene. And it's bleeding all over the place in the scene. That is real. He breaks the glass. And he sits there and he uses the pain and everything to finish off the scene. And him and Samuel Jackson are kind of going at it, and some of it's off script, and it was an epic scene. And so Jamie Foxx is telling the story, and Jamie Foxx is such a good storyteller. And man, watching him tell the story of the whole entire scene, and then you have another scene where Quentin Tarantino is talking about it and just saying the actors and how they just did it was just phenomenal. So I always sit there and I'm like, it's just cool to think, like, you know, there's expertise in every single field. It doesn't matter, right? Like if it's a field and it gets paid high money, there's an expert, and there's a reason why they literally get paid that money, because they're experts, you know. Anyways, I don't know where that's going. Next,
I was letting you run with it.
Experts. Let's talk about Bitcoin and how it is moving here today. So at the beginning of the week, talked about, we started seeing it go up, and then I said I expected to kind of go down. We have that area here between the 94 area and then the 100-day period moving average is in at that 97 area. It actually did not, we're not seeing much of a sell-off off of that 100-day period moving average. So I'm expecting this to sit there and push up a little higher. I was actually on the Crypto Breakfast Club, and I was talking about the 100-day period moving average, saying, hey, look, we've got a couple scenarios that I would like to see. I would like to see us come down off of this and play off of some of these moving averages here, okay? Then from there, I want to see it after it comes down. I want to see it go up from here up, right? And then tap that 200-day period moving average, which is sitting at that 106 area here. And we talked about this area here of potentially coming and tapping. That's the look I'm looking to see. Now, if we blow through this 100-day period moving average, okay, and it's really important to, I really want to add this, if we just blow through it and we continue up, expect it to come back down once we tap that 200, right? But if we see a gradual, so if we see this type of movement where it just does this right here, it hits this and then just continues up, boom, where it hits the 200-day period moving average, most likely we're going to see it come back down to these lower areas of that 84 area. What I want to see is a gradual push, right? And that gradual push is real simple. Let's see it do what I just said here a second ago, where literally we see the market come up, come back down, tap this, come up, tap this, boom, come up, tap this, and then it continues up. That's what we want to see. Something that's eddy, steady. Let's go ahead and make some money, Eddie. All right, so that's in a nutshell. But again, I hope we hit this area. This is a weekly zone here. We talked about that 96 area here where there's a lot of liquidity sitting here, okay? So I'd expect to see it tap this area and then come back down. That's what it needs to. I want to see if that does that we come back down, tap this, and we want to close the end of the week above this high here, okay? Which is sitting roughly around that. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Going to be that 94. I want to see us close this week after we see a pullback around that 94. Remember, we've got Friday, Saturday, right here. We got three trading days still left. So seeing a pullback and the push back up is what I would like to see. But we shall see which way the market goes. I'd even be okay with a market that pulls back. It doesn't even have to pull back down into the lower areas of that 89, even the 90 area, right here at that 8 period moving average. Coming back down here into that level and then seeing continue up would be fairly okay. I just don't want to see it blow through the 100-day period moving average, because typically when they're doing that, it's a sign that they're going to bring a rope a dope situation in. So that's where I'm sitting at right now, and that's all I'm saying as of right now. So.
All right. Well, I've got the long on right now.
Yep.
Got the long hopium going right now. Wishing it to go to that 100K area. Not wishing it, planning on it, I should say. And we'll let it get up a little bit and take some profits and start out the new year with a nice, good trade.
Let's go. Is it going to be a swing trade? I know you've been practicing the swing trade stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a it's not a short-term hour-long trade type thing. It's a big stops, big safety in all aspects of it. You know, I'm not in danger of getting stopped out. Or I've got low risk on, low leverage. It's just a nice little trade.
When did you get in on it?
At about 94,000, 94 and change or so.
So down here, like, so you got in maybe Monday?
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday? Okay. Good night. You got a nice little area. Yeah, right around the 8 period moving average. Tuesday, you got in on Tuesday or Monday.
I can't possibly remember where the moving average was, but that's probably right where it was. It was Monday because I started off the week with the little trade. I still have a rather large demo trade going on that's been sitting around since November, and that one's up a couple $1,000. But it's a demo trade. But still, that was another one that I did a nice big stops so it could weather the market, and it did. It weathered the storm all through December. And now it's in the profits.
Awesome.
Nice, it was a nice, even though it was the demo account, that doesn't matter to me. I practice. I'd rather still, it's still the same trade setup. It's still the same markets, all that type of stuff. And I held on to it. Didn't get even close to my stop. My stop was down in the 70s, 74,000.
Yeah.
And I let it ride. Just said no, it's gonna come back up, just as Pedro and I said, and it came back up. Sure enough, it did eventually, and now it's in the profits. I should have DCA'd it a little bit or something like that, but I just let it ride. I'm working on, like I said, Pedro, that I haven't done a good job of seeing trades through to their finality, through the terminus. And so these two, the demo one I have going on and the real one I have going on, they're going to be win or lose trades. They're going to go through to their terminus. Well, I'll take 60 or 70% out, like
I was gonna say, why? If you made that, like, if I was like, you don't need to let it go negative. If you've made money, take that money.
Right.
It just, that's kind of what blows me away sometimes with people. And I get it. If you want to make sure if you have a retestable stop and you're doing good. And but take some of that money. I get it. I'm gonna put you on hold for 1 second, okay? And I'll be back. I'm actually
here.
I want to go over Ethereum here real quick, but I'm gonna put you on hold for just a moment, all right, my brother?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be waiting for Pedro to come back here. Bring up the old screen here. I remember to ask Pedro why more people from the Crypto Breakfast Club don't come watch our show. Very strange. Anyway, here's the month. The month as I see it here. As everyone knows, been trading the monthly cycles here to get a better handle on what's going on long term. As you can see, in January, we started out on the up week. The week traded up. That means what? It means we're probably going to finish the end of January doing the opposite, going down. And I have it drawn all the way down to this 74,000 area down here because Pedro and I say it's going to go down there. Question is when. I don't know when. This could be a very small red arrow here. So Bitcoin went up the first week in January. Looking at the candle for the month, it's got to form all of its important parts. Supply wick, body, demand wick. If it's going to go down at the end of the month, it'll go up right before it. Pedro and I, we are in our third trading week of the month right now. Pedro was just talking about it going up to 100K. Very possible. Very possible. We did call the second week right too, coming down after that first week up. Didn't come down a lot, but just kind of held out. And at the end of really at the end of the second week is when the start upward trend started for Bitcoin. So we're going to see how January does with our plan for the month. And obviously, I was talking about that demo trade. That's kind of a monthly trade that I have going on. And so probably we'll close that out probably tomorrow. Probably the end of the day tomorrow. If we get a little bit more of a blow off top, I'm going to take the $2,000 in the demo trade and put it in the demo wallet. I wish the wife could spend the demo wallet, or she buy some demo clothes with the demo wallet. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching, thanks for joining us, everybody that has tuned in on X. We had a couple of people watching us on X so far. Thank you very much. Our crowd is small today for some reason. Don't understand why. Even here on Rumble. Remember to share it. Share us wide and far. Remember to download the Rumble wallet. You're getting notes on Rumble here to download the wallet. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. If they ask you how you heard about the Rumble wallet, make sure you type in DYOR Media. Really strange how quiet everyone is today. Most comments today comes from Kick. Dr. Matt, thanks for joining us over there. I really appreciate it. Anyway, while Pedro's doing that, one of the things that I wanted to mention, I mentioned on the startup of the show, ransomware using Polygon smart contracts to evade detection. That's right. Ransomware is now using the blockchain. You always had to pay on the blockchain, but now they're using the blockchain to help spread, evade, and obfuscate where the command and control servers are. Soon to come to a MetaMask approval to you, ransomware. Yesterday I spoke about how the banking lobby got its way with the Senate and said no to stablecoin yield. Let me bring that back here. Don't know why that's not changing. Anyway, the Senate Banking Committee has delayed now the markup, as they call it, releasing the text of the bill they anticipate passing, as the industry kind of comes apart in its different lobbying methods. The industry revolted against the banking industry getting their way. Remember, we did this whole crypto thing to have an alternative to the banking. And then when our big bill comes through to make everything legal and to button everything up, the banking industry comes in and says, oh, the crypto industry can't do any of that because only the banks can do that. And then in the same day that the banks announced that JP Morgan made $25 billion, Morgan Stanley, another $20 billion, Bank of America, billions, everybody else, billions. And then they say, nope, only we can do that, you can't do that. And with this one little bill, the entire banking system could be at risk because someone else may make money instead of us. Needless to say, that didn't go over well with the industry. and the senators, some of those nice young spry people we have in our Senate, fell victim to the banking lobby. However, overnight, things have changed a little bit. Lawmakers were in talks with continuing with industry regulated law enforcement. Coinbase and industry voices have pulled back support, warning the draft could create new uncertainty for developers and user access. Critics argue provisions expanding enforcement powers and transaction controls could undermine consumer trust in digital markets. The Senate has delayed markup of a bipartisan crypto bill, adding to earlier postponements. The lobbying is coming out. And you know who's lobbying the most, as it turns out? The U.S. government. Various agencies of the U.S. government. Did you know that the U.S. government agencies employ lobbyists to lobby themselves? That's right. This should not be legal. The U.S. government should not be allowed to attempt to influence legislation that another branch is putting together. Congress has the sole authority to pass legislation. And the agencies hire lobbying firms to try and help change that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Anyway, the bill aims to define crypto regulatory jurisdiction of crypto between the SEC and the CFTC. Enacted to be the first comprehensive federal statute codifying crypto market structure, replacing reliance on guidelines and litigation. You made to deliver clear. Where's the thing that talks about stable coins? The bill falls under both blah 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 blah. This article must have been written by AI because it's crap. Real room tightening consumer protection, blah 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 blah. Garcia, head of global markets, the passage of the bill could be a major no for all coins which would face scrutiny. And Coinbase withdrew its support for the bill ahead of the Senate's previously expected vote, citing unresolved concerns of how parts of the legislation could affect developers and user access. Coinbase argues the framework as written risks creating uncertainty around software activity and could undermine the consumer protections lawmakers intended to deliver. Concerns over how the bill would expand enforcement and surveillance authority moved into focus. Galaxy Research warned that parts of the draft could significantly expand monitoring powers, drawing a comparison to the Patriot Act. Oh, good lord. The 270-page draft expands practical enforcement power by pulling more of the user-facing crypto experience into scope, especially it interfaces people actually use day to day. The current draft is the move towards rapid transaction interruption, including freezes requested without a court order. No. Get a court order.
What happened? What's going on?
Oh, no, I was just reviewing the latest crap that's come out of the Senate.
Oh, about the crypto bill?
Yeah, I was saying our young, spry senators, they don't know a lot about crypto. That's obviously some younger senators, but they're falling victim to the lobbying efforts from the banking industry to not allow anyone to make money in crypto except the banks. And also, it turns out that, Pedro, I don't know if you heard me say this, but you know who one of the biggest lobbyists in the world is that lobbies Congress? The U.S. government itself. The U.S. government, the various agencies hire their own lobbying firms to lobby Congress to shape the bill so that better fits what the agency wants to do. Meanwhile, the agency is a creation of Congress, and Congress tells it what to do. And so the lobbyists for the various agencies have managed to up surveillance powers, make software development less clear that everything is completely legal to develop. They're leaving gray areas in which people can be held accountable if your software is used nefariously by someone. The equivalent is, going and arresting the CEO of General Motors when his car is used. General Motors' car is used in a bank robbery, and so the last minute, the long knives are coming out in the lobbying, and they're sticking the senators in the back saying, we're going to release these pictures of you and that 12-year-old if you don't do what we want. And it's happening. And so the industry, Coinbase is pulled back saying, hey, we're not even supporting this bill anymore. It's so ridiculous. And it's, went from a 5-page draft, now it's 278 pages, and it'll likely be 1,000 pages before it's done. And when that happens, we know bad law comes out of those types of things. And we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it with, the banks getting their way and saying that nobody else is allowed to make any money in stable coins except for the banks, which is it's just ridiculous. Just the fact that the Senate went along with it, it just bugs me. Just bugs me. Anyway, you wanted to talk about Ethereum.
Yeah, it saddens me because we can finish off here in a second. That saddens me because the reality is if crypto goes, there is two sides to crypto though. There is the DeFi side, and no matter what, you can't kill DeFi, even in stable coins, because just like with the banking industry and Congress, right? Congress will come out and say, hey, look, you can't do this. And then, so what does the banking system do? They create a new product. Does what the old product does, but there's always a loophole that they figure out a way around it. I feel like DeFi is much smarter than even the banking system. And so you may go through and outlaw or say, hey, we're the banks. There cannot be a stable coin. But then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, great. Well, we now have this thing called stable jump dog cat frog. And what it does is we're not exchanging value. We're just going through and giving a type of high props through the frog side. And all of a sudden, now it's doing the same thing. And it's doing everything we wanted to do. But instead of saying it's exchange of value, no, it's just hopping. This hops over there. And this hops over here. And it barks when it wants extra food. And that would be the rewards of its work. So it's part of me almost wonders, like, what else? I mean, because there's just too many smart people who want to make money. We were talking about that last night. Once you start to stop people from making money, they get pissed.
They do.
They get pissed.
Note my happy face here. I just wish they would stop fucking with things. Just say, all right, let's let it go, do its thing. Where we find problems down the road, we'll fix them. But now they're creating all the problems up front by trying to come up with this master legislation. I don't know what it is with this younger generation of business leaders and politicians where they feel that the government has to come up with some master playing field for you to do your thing. We can do whatever we want. We don't need the government's approval to do things. In our day-to-day life, we come up with something new. We don't have to ask the government, oh, let's make sure you set some playing rules for this. You just wait to see what's going wrong later and say, all right, well, a lot of people ended up with fraud with this type of thing. Let's change the rule here, or come up with some framework to allow, certain industries to work in this that are otherwise barred by U.S. federal legislation, whatever. And so they're trying to create this master document of everything crypto when every 6 months the industry is different. It's growing so fast. It's like there's no way that as soon as they pass the bill, people are gonna be like, "Well, that was that's so last week." Woo!
Preach. You're preaching. You are preaching. You're preaching to the choir. That's the problem. You're preaching to the choir. And it's going to be really interesting because, like you said, when they create the frog and the dog and the hop skibbity jump rewards that come from it, what are they gonna do, right? Oh, that was a waste of time. I mean, but here's the thing: they've got to figure out a way, because still mom and pop doesn't understand really how crypto works, and that's our fault. That's our fault as the crypto natives. We have not. When we went out and we were at the Christmas table, when we were at the I don't know, when we were at the I don't know, Thanksgiving, Christmas table, we talked about how much money we were going to be making versus explaining why crypto and the freedom of it is really important. And we've done that too much. I think we need to be more deliberate in just educating people. Like, look, this is freedom. This is financial freedom, because it allows you to be able to do the things that you want to do without the long arm of the government. And I want to say this also: when that last diatribe that you just came out with, bro, spoken like a true libertarian. I want to shout that out. So I love it. We can jump back to Ethereum in a second. Go ahead.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this, you're seeing Rumble not begging you, but essentially begging you, download the Rumble wallet. We gotta part of our creator plan. We gotta help spread the word with what they want. The Rumble wallet, empowering voices, enabling transactions. Free speech meets financial freedom with the Rumble wallet. I suggest all of you go ahead and download the Rumble wallet for no other reason than eventually you'll be able to put some tether in it and then send that to us. But anyway, in case you didn't know, Rumble has a long-term investment by Tether, and they're growing like crazy, and they believe that crypto payments will be not just relevant for the creator, but a big part of our economy. So go ahead and download the Rumble wallet. See if you like it or not. It's available on both the App Store for Android and iOS, and give it a shot. That's all I'm gonna say for that for now. Ethereum.
Alrighty.
Ransomware is using Polygon on Ethereum.
Go. He's singing it. You hear that? This is the finest entertainment here besides west of Hollywood. You can't get anything better than this right here, peoples. Tom's glorious angelic voice. It's like
Moon River.
It's like an ode to shore. What do they call that? Ode to shore. To bacon, eggs, and ham. There we go. Let's go, Dr. Seuss. All right. So
quickly welcome Kaching to the house. Thanks for joining us. Kaching will get to Fire Chicken a little bit later. We're going to talk about Ethereum right now.
But then we will talk Fire Chicken because they are just blowing up Twitter, and I love it. Alrighty, so let's talk about a few things here. Ethereum has been really interesting because we've talked about it pushing up, and it's been just consistently just wanting to push up. We see those higher highs and higher lows is what's been coming in. Now, the thing that I do not like is that we're just not seeing enough just buyers. We're just not seeing a lot of buyers as it's moving up. But the thing I do like about it is that we do have what is that? Low, and we have a higher low, have some higher lows. We have a high, and we're about to put in another, higher high, or high, what do you call that? Lower, it was a lower low, and that became a higher high, and that became a higher high. We pulled back. This is lower high, but we're also, a lower high, but we're about to, it looks like we've flirted and tested with this 100-day period moving average like we've talked about here. But I like the fact that we're seeing a bit of more of a pullback on Ethereum, which is what I want to see, right? This pullback comes in. If we put in a higher low that sits roughly around here compared to this higher low, then that communicates to me that we're going to see this thing go up and tap that 36.49 area. So fingers crossed on that. The cool thing also, when you look at the CME as I burp in your ears. Please forgive me for that. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just gotta burp. And I wonder how these famous, amazing podcasters, like Joe Rogan's on for 3 hours a day. You have all these other guys. What's that guy's name that you love watching on
Steve
Rumble?
Crowder.
Steve Crowder. These guys do not burp. They do not fart, and they're on for hours. And I'm like, how do they do it? Like
they have a production staff with a dump button. That's what they have.
what's the dump button? I don't even know what
a dump is. D-U-M-P, and that doesn't mean run to the bathroom and take a dump. It dumps the audio. Like I have one here. I'm like talking about blah 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 blah. It just dumps the audio. Dumps 5 seconds of the audio there.
Oh, I did not know that. That is actually really cool. That is actually really, really cool.
But what those guys do is they run their show a few seconds in arrears, so that as soon as if someone yells, a swear word or something like that, and they don't want any swear words on their show, they can hit the dump button, and it dumps the cache essentially before it goes out over the air. That's why you don't hear burps and farts on all those big shows there, Pedro.
Oh, well, now you guys know. Known as after battle, G.I. Joe, American hero. Yo, Joe, got to get tough. Anyways, okay. As you know, I am a 90s baby. All right. Or not 90s baby. I'm a 90s teenager. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm an 80s baby then. All right. Anyways, so check it out. When you look at the CME, which I thought this was really interesting compared to the actual market at large. CME here, this is not the CME. I'm actually looking at it over here on my other chart. But the CME over here is literally, we're seeing lower interest or lower need or want.
And Pedro is suffering his periodic internet connection snafu. For some reason, Pedro has not yet got a new internet provider.
Can you hear me?
And we can now, sir.
Alrighty then. Looks like our internet, dude, I'm getting a new internet this month. So that issue is going to be done. And dude, supposedly these guys are amazing. I've gone online and checked them out. They're absolutely donut speed. And like compared to where like Comcast or any other like AT&T provider, I mean, it's really one-sided. Everybody hates them, but they're the only game in town. Whenever this other company comes about, like they are the bomb diggity. GoNet Speed supposedly like it's the opposite. It's like one-sided. These guys are amazing. So I'm looking forward to that moment where they come in and we're gonna have fun there. So this month shall be the month.
Yeah, both places that the missus and I live. In neither place do we use the cable companies or any of the legacy providers with their BS terms and conditions, and can't use it. Can't use your literally. If you read Comcast terms and conditions, you're not even allowed to use it to make money. You got to. Well, you should have a business account if you're going to be using it to make money. And so both of these here at this building and then the one in Chicago just have the guy just shows up with an Ethernet cable. Here you go, and you turn it on, and it's nothing but fire. Both directions, fire, fire, fire. Awesomeness.
Really?
And
give me one second.
Very happy not to have to use the cable companies. I don't know where Pedro went there. He disappeared again. Pedro's continuing internet trouble. Let's bring my screen back on here. Looking for a big push up in the Bitcoiner here today. We dropped off here. It's pretty fun. I was watching the Crypto Lifer show earlier, and Sam put a very large long position on right about here. Because if you see where I've drawn this flag here, It's a classic bull flag, and most of the time just breaks right up out of it. And so he put a very large trade on to the tune of about $1 million. And it immediately dropped right down to the 200 period moving average. And he talked about it on the air. He's a transparent guy. So he said, hey, my trade's is one of the biggest trades I've ever taken. It's going against me. Fortunately, it bounced off the moving 200 period moving average there. And he's probably now in the profits on that. But we're looking for this trend to continue going up here. As we can see, let's go over the week real quick. Monday, Bitcoin started down here. The weekly open right at 92,000. All of Monday, we traded underneath that. Finally, on Tuesday, we came up above the weekly open. Where is the monthly open? The monthly open was at 87. January opened at 87,000. Obviously, trading up above that. Wednesday pushed up even further here, and Thursday kind of looks like one of those classic head and shoulder patterns here. And on the big dip we had earlier in the day, it looked like it might drop off out of that and come back down to 94,000, or at least to the moving average down at 93,000. But the market turned around right away. I guess Trump threatened Iran again or something.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did threaten Iran, and they took out my computer. Go ahead. What were you saying?
76 Norton in the house. Yay. How about that silver guy? Yeah, we'll talk about silver here in a minute after Pedro's done talking about Ethereum. Got some interesting news on the silver front also. Pedro, y'all back here?
I think so.
Yeah, your screen's back. Your camera's not back yet. There you go.
Right. Okay, so I want to bring this up because I thought this was really interesting. On the spot market, we're actually seeing an increase in volume here, whereas the actual trading volume on the Ethereum network here, on the futures, we're seeing it drop, and I thought that was really interesting. The fact that if I start to see a drop in Ethereum, or if I see a drop in the spot market but an increase in the futures market, typically that means that a market rally is about to happen. When I see a drop in vice versa, typically that means that we're about to see a rally. And so what's actually happening compared to like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been just steady Eddie on the futures, like especially at the lows here. People are just buying up as much of the lows here, which is impossible, or which has been awesome, because that means that they're trying to get in on these lows here on the futures for Bitcoin. Whereas the opposite kind of is happening here with what we're watching with Ethereum. So if we do see a drop here, I would expect to see it take out these lows here, and this is the reason why this is the yearly lows, right at these lows here. It's crazy to say the yearly lows, but there's a lot of stops there. And so that's that 3,000 area. So I would expect to see us, and we're hitting the liquidity area right here, which is what we've talked about, liquidity up at that 33.99 or 3,400 area, where the 200-day period moving average is sitting. So we're hitting the areas that we need to. We're starting to come back down. So fingers crossed, if we do come back down, we can get in at these lows of 30, 50 area is really where I would want to get in at. If we do pull back here at these levels, it's that 30-50-ish area, which is where the liquidity here. You have the 50-day period moving average sitting right here as well, which is basically the weekly 8 period moving average sitting as well. So it makes sense that it would explode up and then come back down, tap that weekly 8, and then push back up. So fingers crossed on Ethereum. If it does that, so if we see the sell-off happen, get in on that sell-off. Do what you want to do. I'm not a financial advice, but I know I'm getting in at that 30-50 area. So that's it in a nutshell for Ethereum. Do you have any
50? I'm going to write that down and add it to the trade wave. ETH 30-50.
So always check for demand wicks, right? But I'm
right.
a bunch of demand wicks coming in with an increase in volume because there's so many. I mean, there's just going to be just like here, watch. But look at the demand wicks. Look at all the demand wicks coming in. That's what we want to see. Boom, demand wicks as we come into the lows, boom, and pop up. So be ready, kind of. I wouldn't call that a flash crash, but be ready for a type of a pullback here, so you can get in at those highs. And again, that's crazy to say because that's about 10% pullback. So traditional markets, they'd be like, the world is ending. What is going on?
Oh my God. GM has fired its whole executive team, talks down 10%. That's it. Everyone's out.
We're like, oh, okay, we're 10% pullback, and so be ready to get in on it. You know, it's kind of funny. It's true. It's like it's actually probably around 12% pullback. But anyhow, yeah, that's where I want to kind of get in on. Ooh, my bad. Oh, my red light just went on.
Pedro, interesting story in regarding silver and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Silver gets a major upgrade. CME to launch a new futures contract for silver as retail demand hits record levels. They're finally off. They're going to launch a mini contract for silver. As we know, as the price of silver has been going up. For those of you that don't trade the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and trade the old school contracts way, it's very expensive. Very expensive. Especially when the price goes up of these things, it gets more and more out of touch for the smaller retail traders to use. So that's when they come up with these mini contracts, like the NASDAQ mini contracts, S&P 500 minis, and that type of stuff. So you can invest smaller amounts of money and be a smaller player. And so they've done that. They're going to be introducing that fairly soon here on the CME to drive smaller day trader retail people. I mean, there's no retail people actually trading on the CME, but we'll just use code words for the smaller day traders out there. So that's big news for silver. Silver shortage, banks going down. Even Elon's commenting on it as China tight. He's like, because China is saying we're going to give export license control to silver now, so that any company exporting it from China is going to have to get approval from the government. And that it's not just who you're selling it to; it's what they're using it for. So China's going to be limiting. China's the number 2 silver producer in the world, behind Mexico, and that's a lot. It's about they produce about 40% of the world's silver. And restricting a bunch of that supply is obviously one of the things causing the price to go up right now. But the world's a big place. It'll be like next week they'll be like, well, in Zambia, the world's largest silver deposit was just happened to be found by a farmer, and suddenly the price is going to go down to $50 again. Farmer stubs his toe. Oh, look at that giant silver mine.
Yep.
And so that the markets always work around export controls, especially in the defense industry. But anyway, I thought that would be a something that if you were getting any information from your trading firms on whether that's coming out soon or coming out later.
What's funny is they actually do have a micro and an E-minis already for silver. No. They have a full, and then I believe they do have a micro for silver. And so the minis they're going to have, because it is moving. I mean, we're talking silver on the CME has been, like you said, just pumping. I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of $1 million people are making. They're getting in so big. I mean, so I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the fact is that we're almost at 100 on silver, and again, we called that.
Yes, we did.
compared to whatever people want to say, I gotta tell you, this morning, Oh man, somebody got their hands slapped, or their something else slapped.
Hands in the cookie jar.
Well, somebody stepped out of pocket a little too much, and I guess the higher ups didn't like it and just told them to shut the door. So
the thing you were referring to yesterday about someone talking out their ass a little bit.
Yeah. A trade's a trade is pretty much what
a trade is a trade. That's right.
And you can't, whether or not you want to say it was luck, regardless.
It's not. We've been talking silver for ages. Anyway, speaking of Elon Musk, just the other day, Pedro, I complained to Elon and to the X engineering team about the amount of AI slop on X and how almost every category, especially crypto, is becoming really unusable. It's the conversations are just, bots. I was sick the other day or last week, so I was up a lot at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and I was really amazed at how many just white girls named Karen were awake at 4 a.m., commenting about this guy evil, that person evil, you're evil, all this type of stuff, and commenting on all these worldly affairs. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Is that like everyone in Missouri is awake right now, commenting on Israel and Gaza and Venezuela and whether Trump's a criminal or this or that. I'm like, this is really amazing. And I'm like, oh, they're all bot. None of them respond to you when you tweet to them too.
Yep.
And so it was just like I've had it with the bot. So I actually complained and tagged Elon and X Engineering. And today Elon says, "Hey, sorry, we let the spam get out of control, especially in the crypto category." If you don't know, if you a lot of you guys participate in Telegram rooms where they have reply bots and all these types of things and participation, and you can earn rewards for replying on X. Well, what that was going on is that those accounts on X would get monetized, and then they would take the money that X was paying and share it back through the bot. So all it did was create massive amounts of AI slop and thousands of good morning auto responder. GM, good morning. Elon said enough of that, and he revoked all those bots' access to, and the amount of crypto spam has already dropped dramatically. Now, if they can do that with anything having to do with Russia, Ukraine, everybody that now thinks they're a constitutional scholar online, that, oh yeah, well that's unconstitutional because back in 1902, the Teapot Dome scandal, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, you're Karen from Missouri. Knock that shit off. Anyway, hopefully X will become more usable again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on Rumble and you're watching on your big screen TV and you're not a member of Rumble, hold up your smartphone over there and click that QR code there and join Rumble. You can do it right on your phone. Not even asking for any money. Just create an account. When you go and do that, it'll ask you to create an account with your email. You can also use Google or Facebook at the bottom of the screen that this takes you to. There'll be a sign-in button. Click the sign-in button, even if you're brand new, and it'll lead you to the Google login, so you can just use your Google account. My alt account for Rumble, I do that. It's really easy. It's simple, and they don't take any of your information. And that allows you to interact with our show. It allows you to give us a thumbs up. It allows you to ask questions here in chat. And we always notice that we have a lot more viewers than we do chatters, so got to convert some of you people into chatters, like 76 Norton here. To the moon, baby. Pedro, why don't we turn around and we just mentioned the new silver contract. Let's talk about silver and then hit fire chicken after that.
Absolutely. So silver's been actually, like I said, just been climbing. We've talked about this now multiple times. We've talked about that we could easily see it hit 120 easily by the end of the year. We actually have marked here the 159, or I said 160 areas, kind of what my goal, what I think we should see by the end of the year. I know that sounds nuts, Like, I get it. That sounds crazy. The fact that we're at 73, but with what we're seeing happening with AI kicking in, with what we're seeing happening with just China. So I'm so afraid to say it because I don't want my computer to shut down. Um, with what we're seeing with the dragon across the street, or the dragon across the sea over there, that they like you said, they are doing a governmental systematic block on silver production and usage around the world, and because of that, we're going to see the demand for it get scarce. And when that happens, which we have not seen happen in a long time, you will see speculators push this to the moon, as 76 Norton says. And so it's really important to sit there and gauge how far will this go. I feel like I feel like I'm being even a little bit conservative with 160. I really do. I think we could see, I mean, dare I say, even 200 back because of what's happening. And I don't see China pulling back their restrictions, especially with the need for silver in AI. With what's happening in America, what's happening with this whole entire clash between us and them, it just makes sense that they wouldn't pull back, and we're just going to keep seeing a push. And the other part behind it is, we're also seeing gold kind of slow down, right? We talked about a potential 10% jump from this year for gold. Is going to be that 5,000. Now, we talked about potential we could hit this by midsummer, but I don't see gold really experiencing the hyperbolic movement that we've seen it from last year, right? We talked about last year because of what was happening with a few of this stuff. This was the gold trade. I talked about how we're going to see a lot of issues happening. We're going to see the US dollar drop. We would actually see a huge increase in gold because of certain aspects behind what's actually happening. And so we saw that. I had to change our trajectory, right? We talked about hitting, originally 3,500. We saw the sell-off, and then it went all the way up by the end of the year to literally almost 4,000, 4,500. We saw the pullback. Now, when you look at the pull up compared to silver, one of the things that we were talking about is silver going to basically catch up to the silver gold ratio, or is gold going to pull back and then see silver pull up? Well, man, we are seeing silver push, and we're seeing gold stagnate in its movement, and it's a big deal, right? It's a very, very big deal. I mean, literally today it pulled back 4 points. It's a big deal. Like, I mean, it went from literally 93, actually higher than, forgive me. It went from 93 all the way down to 30. That's 6 points. That's crazy. I mean, it's 10% pullback. So, like, when you think about that big movement from 93, boom, what would that be? 9 points. So, excuse me. Yeah, that wouldn't be 10%. What is that? So it'd be 93 to the lows, 6 points. So 9, that'd be 9 points. So even 6% pullback in a day, 6-7%. That is an ass. That's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So the fact that you're seeing a 6 or 7% pullback here shows, one, there is that need that people keep buying. But the fact, if we put a demand wick here as we're going up, that just screams to me there's still demand. People aren't going to be slowing down here, and it's going to continue higher, right? So anytime we see a pullback, and we thought we were going to see a pullback on silver get down to like that 63. Man, we were wrong. This is where we were wrong. I said from 82, I'd expected to see it come back down to that 62. But man, this thing caught wind off of the 4 hour 89, but really it was just that daily 8 that we've just seen it climb off of that. That's really what we're watching. So how far will this go? Like I said, if we don't see a slowdown in geopolitical movements, as well as the actual hard silver need for AI, I mean, this thing. I mean, what is it? Gold at 10. It could get to 400 if we see a ratio of a 10-to-1 ratio.
We got a crazy MFer in the chat here, otherwise known as 76 Norton, saying 10 grand. $10,000. Silver's going to pass gold, he says.
Well,
I don't see how that's gonna happen. That's quite the boast there.
That is quite the boast. I mean, listen, right now in this crazy world, I would not put it past it. I just don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But I mean, who knows? I mean, seeing it go to what would that be, 100x, right? Because 1 to 1,000 would be a 10x, yeah, and then boom, yeah. So that would be 100x on silver. That would put a halt. Well, Pat's on YouTube.
Yeah, he just says CZ just tweeted 200K. I don't know if he means silver or if he means Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's starting to rally again. We're starting to see it kind of pick up steam.
Where did his comments go?
Did he? Maybe he meant to drop it somewhere else. I'm assuming maybe that.
Anyway, welcome Patrick to the show.
Patty, always good to have you. No matter what, I don't care what those people say about you. You're awesome. All right, buddy. Just playing, just joking. Come over here to Pat, if you're listening to us over on YouTube, come over to Rumble. Love to have you. You know, he's a friend of the show. One day we're gonna have him on here. We're gonna talk charts and have a good time. All right. So one of the things I think is interesting, also to reiterate, is we want to see it stay above the 8. Right? We've talked about that 8-period moving average coming in. We want to see it above the 8. You can see the nice little consolidation here. This right here. This whole entire, what happened here? I want you guys to ingrain this right. Ingrain this in your mind right here. This movement of it, just look at this trend. This trend is beautiful. Same type of trend was down here. My PC is starting to mess up again. What's it show on your end? Is my internet starting
to? Strong like bull.
Strong like bull. All right. Well, you can see here that we're playing this nice little trend, consolidate, right? Boom. For about a month, and then we trend again, right? And so you can see here that when we trend, we were waiting for the 50-period moving average to sit right there. If we see it get to 100, I think 100 is a round number. So I think we very much could see, and you can see I'm going to use this as a trend mechanism, similar to what we just saw up here, right? Look at the 8 and the 20. See how it's moving up? See all the consolidation. We hit the $50 market and we saw the consolidation. I think we very much could see that here as well. Okay, and so if we hit 100, which is going to sit right here, expect us to see a nice little this is where we're going to see some liquidity come in, and as this comes up here, expect to see a push up and maybe a kind of come back and then a consolidate, and wait for that 50-period moving average sitting right here right now at 63 to kind of catch up, and we could see this type of movement until then, right? Just call it the Bart Simpson look, right? Boom, and then that would look something like this. Boom, potentially consolidate, pull back down, hit that 50 period. We would expect that 50 period to kind of come up. Boom, or sometimes they call this the Batman, right? And then hits it and then push back up. All right, so just giving you guys heads up. So that nice little look there. But yeah, silver, it's no joke. It wants to run. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the geopolitical movement in relationship to what we're seeing right now?
Well, one of the problems with silver is that we mine silver two different ways: directly and as a byproduct of gold mining, and I forget the other one, like zinc or nickel mining,
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yep.
And most of it comes from the byproduct version. We don't mine. There's not like gold veins of gold. There's gold in the barrels. You never heard anyone say there's silver in the barrels. It's because silver comes. It's rare that there's a vein of it to go mine, and it's mostly a byproduct. And so, which means it doesn't come fast. There's not going to be a quick. If someone said, "Oh, no regulations at all, just go dig a mine for silver," it would still take ages to bring that stuff to market. So we don't have any additional new supply coming on from new mines. Even though arguably the world is littered with silver all over the place, you just got to go dig it up. The American Southwest probably has as much gold as anybody else, but they're just not allowed to mine it. That can change when all of a sudden when the price goes up. People are like, the environment's not that big a deal. We can just fix it later. Yeah,
Just true. I mean, like, it's absolutely keep going.
So there's not. So from a fundamental aspect of this, there's no solution. This what we're looking at here is pure market demand for limited supply. And now that everyone's like, oh my God, Striking, you're so genius. I can't believe that. No, but the problem is that it's artificial. That we're not actually using any more silver. So where there's an artificial run-up in price, that always means that there's a big correction at some point. At some point, someone will say, all right, we made some profits in silver. We're going to go trade roses or orchids in the Netherlands. And the market will collapse. You're right, tulips, that's what it is. And the market will collapse. And just because it's a false demand. It's demand because everyone's FOMOing into it. And there's no actual market behind it. And so that's a problem. That's a problem that you got to be ready for. Don't bet if you're going to go in on silver, be warned that, there's no additional demand. Demand is growing as electronics grow and EVs and this and that kind of stuff. But that grows slowly as factories come online and new products come online and they place orders and that type of stuff. That's slow growth. This stuff you're seeing here, the hockey stick growth, that's just traders saying, we're making the monies, we're going to keep making the monies, and you're going to be the exit liquidity. Don't be the exit liquidity here. Wait for Pedro to say, hey, it's come down to these levels, and then get in here. So, PJerv, yes, we talked about Bitcoin generally at the start of the show, but I'm sure we'll talk about it again. The basic summary, looking forward to it to go into 100 to 104,000 before it turning back. It's going to go back. It's going to go back to 74,000 or so. We've been talking about it for ages. But there was definitely a point in which Pedro and I were talking about it, that it was going to come up, hit 95, hit 100, maybe even a little bit more than that. Pedro went over that at the beginning of the show. Also talking about the 200-day moving average is weak. On Bitcoin, not silver, right? On I don't know what he's talking about. I'm guessing he's talking about Plus Clarity Act passing. Yeah, that's not going to pass yet. We talked about that earlier, about that it's not so clear anymore. It went from a 5-page act to a 278-page act, so el problemo. Yeah, I was talking about BTC, that the 200-period moving average, when the moving averages you can see it's coming. They're getting in a little tighter here, and they're all going to be traveling in the same highway, in the same lane here soon. When that happens, something moves.
I know who P Curve is now. My goodness, I'm a little slow there. Special ed, let's go. I'm not making fun of special ed. I actually spent majority of my life in special ed. So
short buses unite.
Short buses unite. Let's go. All right, sorry, dude. I know one of these. I hope the whole entire woke moment don't come back. right? Because like we are reveling in this, dude, and they're gonna take so much of the stuff we've said and be like, string these guys up.
Could burn us at
Like,
the stake. Take him to Salem, Massachusetts, and burn him with the witches.
Dude.
He must be made of wood. He floats.
Oh, that is.
What else floats? Very small rocks. Oh.
I spit in your general direction. This is great.
She turns me into a newt. You don't look like a newt. I got better. See, she's a witch. You've affixed a carrot to her as a nose. Well, we wanted to make her look like more like a witch.
The holy hand grenade. A Millie flesh wound.
Run away! Run away!
Run away! Run away! Run away! All right, if you guys haven't seen that movie, you guys need to see that movie. I know we're just being a bunch of goofballs, but just so you know, that is Monty Python and Search for the Holy Grail, which rocks the freaking mic. If you haven't seen it, you must see it.
What is your favorite color? I don't know. The main characters just disappear, just like that.
It's like, no, don't take me on it. I'm okay.
What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? Well, what do you mean, African or European? I don't know. How did you know these things? You have to know these things to be king. Because of that line, I get Natasha, or I'm sorry, this is Striking here. She rolls her eyes at me at least twice a week because I'll just know some random fact of some sort, like typical guys do. And she'll be like, how did you? And she's like, don't say it. And I'm just like, gotta know these things to be king. And she's like, no.
You know, I gotta feel like this. I am honestly like, if I get married, you know, you always hear the wife always say he tells me the same jokes over and over, or he says the same story over and over. And like, I want to purposely like, I want to create an app. I'm not joking. Where there's two of me. Hey, what? Hey, what's going on? No,
No, it wasn't. That's just your eyes.
Oh, my eyes. My eyes. Anyways, the plane. Anyways, okay. Dude, got me going. What was I gonna say? I want to create an app where literally it's gonna be for husbands and dad jokes, literally just for that. And it's just guys coming up saying, okay, hey, I normally say this to my wife. What's a good variation? Boom. And then dudes is like, oh, we can do this, right? And at any point in time, you can jump on it and type in whatever your XYZ and then create a new story. You'd be like, you even tell your wife, look, this is a new story. All right. It may be or may not be true. And both, like, you know, like you're back in the mix and you're flirting with her. I want to create an app like that. I think that would be gold. I think, and just charge like 20 cents a week. Oh no, 20 cents a week. Charge like $1 a month or maybe $1 a year. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think it would take off. I do. I think it would absolutely take off. Or maybe have it be with keep it and just basically just since so many people would be on it, right? And because you need server space and stuff like that, you would, you know. Anyways, I'm out here just talking. Anyways, I think that'd be a great idea. What are you snorting about?
Just
my random crazy.
Yeah. We'll just go with that.
And I'm crazy. Anyhow, so I want to just bring up here one last thing here, with gold and silver. If we really start to see again civil unrest and Trump really start hitting the narrative of like he's not going to care about the tariff situation, because remember I said there's two different types of tariffs, and the one that they're voting on is the tariff that would be controlled because the president has his own. He can raise certain type of tariffs, as well as the Senate and the House, right? That they both can do as well. But he primarily has certain things. If that's They can't take that away from him. That is his constitutional right to be able to have. Right, but what they can do is he's overstepping on some of those tariffs. If we start to see him really push hard on some of these other tariffs, I would expect to see gold push, and if we see gold push, expect silver to push even more. I want to add that as well. Something to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I listened to some of the people that were in the courtroom listening to the Supreme Court ask questions of the U.S. Solicitor General about the tariffs, and they were not on the side of the president at all. They were like, it clearly says in the Constitution that Congress has the power to do this, and not the president. And they weren't, the U.S. is relying on a small act that gave the president powers under certain emergency times to change tariffs. And the court was like, no. Even it wasn't like some judges were one way and some were the other way. They were all against this. They're like, clearly says in the Constitution, Congress has the power. And so I don't think it's going to be good news for Mr. Trump's tariffs. But I don't think the court will just. I don't think the court will strike it down in such a way that we have to reimburse all these people all this money, because otherwise we would be broke. And so
$600 billion.
Yeah, they'll do it in a way that says, well, let's send this to the lower court so that it'll never ever come back, and force Congress to give the president the power to do that, or just, I'm going to make Congress do it. If you want the tariffs, the president to have the power, the president got to need legislation to support that.
Well, my hope is that, look, it actually was kicking off a bunch of cash. So why are you going to take away money? We're not seeing inflation based off of it. We know that. We've talked about that. We're not seeing a slowdown in the economy because of it. That's just extra cash that's going to help out. Like, put that money into the cofferdams and pay off the freaking debt. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much. Why not keep it? Keep the ones that we're having, because they're doing okay. And the world is sitting there, kind of bowing the knee going, okay, cool, we'll deal with this. This is okay. And so if you can add an additional $700-800 billion to the U.S., let's do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand why they're fighting that so hard. It's almost just more like, if anything, let a Democrat come into office and let him propose it, and then say it's okay. I mean, listen, we all know that Obama literally deported more people than Trump. So you guys just want to be in power? Okay, fine, whatever. Just get it through. Like, because if things keep going the way it's going, it's not going to be happy for us. It's not going to be good for us. Just saying. From a debt standpoint.
Yeah, we could pay off just one of those trillions for some of this tariff money.
I mean, that would be nice. Just saying, that would be nice. Instead of just being in a place where you're just getting dumped on, like, come on. Wait, here we go. There it is. Boom. Again, we've actually seen some good fronts actually happening with this, right? Remember, this was at $39 trillion, right? Now it's not. It's at 38 trillion, which is impressive. That's a big deal.
Are you sure it went to 39?
I'm almost positive it got up to 30. At least on this market cap, it hit 39 trillion. So we saw, maybe I'm wrong. I'm almost positive we saw it get to 39 trillion. And then I want to say we were at 40 trillion, and then it just dropped. So maybe they did a new calculation in it, because again, this is up to date data, but it does lag in some areas. So I could be wrong in that. But I'm almost positive I saw it get to 39 trillion, and then we started seeing it pull back, which was really cool. All right, so that's about it. I do got to get going, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna stick around here a little bit. We'll talk about Bitcoin again. Peger
P-Gerv. How is P-Gerv doing?
Just want to call it perv. Perv. What was the name? Gervais? The last name Gervais, I think. Here's a stat for you, Pedro. Of the last 37 monthly candles, this would be the third largest supply wick. Well, that's interesting.
Really?
Only 2 supply wicks were greater. Now, P-Gerv, I hope you associate this with a change in trend. And please tell us. Only 2 supply wicks were greater. I just hope it's good news, not bad news. I just hope he's about to tell us something good.
No, that would be. But also, and we, to point that out, I was wondering what is going on with this. Yeah, I forgot. I have the wrong system pulled up. You can see here. Come on, work.
All right, I've got a monthly chart up here. Our supply wick doesn't look that big. It's quite small. Huh. The chance that we're putting in the supply wick. I'm not getting what Pat or P-Gerv is telling us.
Chances that we're putting in the supply wick is a low. Yeah, I agree with you. The chances is low. Yes. So what he's referring to is this: is go to the month. Yeah, for the supply wick to be put in. Yeah, it's green. Agreed. I know what you're talking about. All right, let's pull that up here real quick.
So currently we don't have really a demand wick. So in order for us to put the demand wick in and turn the candle red, on my chart it's white here.
Agreed.
It would end up being the
No, so what Gerv is saying is this, and he's very right. He's very right. If we look at the month, remember we talked about this. So we didn't put in a demand wick.
right.
It's very important. And I said, I want to see it come down first before we go up. Right? And so and I said, we have a few options here. One option is let's look at the 3 month, right? 3 month is that it does this, right? We want to see it go up, down, then up on the quarterly monthly chart or the quarterly chart. And on the monthly, what it would do is it would go up first, right? And by the end of the month, we would then be down here creating. Now we are hitting the 100-day period moving average, and he's very right on this. That's the issue, right? Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And so this is where I would gauge, like I said, we could do a couple things. We could hit this area here off of the 100-day period moving average, then come down into these lower areas. Remember I talked about the year lows? Remember that? Talked about us hitting that year low where we then put in the demand wick and then seeing it push up. Now we talked about earlier the week, right? This week, where I want to see kind of get low here. Next week we would go down first, hit, and I want to make sure we illustrate. I'm not being bearish here, but we need to put in the yearly, but it's gonna just go parabolic. It could, like we're talking crypto here, right? So it's important to understand this. But I think you're absolutely right. We're hitting at the beginning of the month, right? We did not put a demand wick in. 2, this week, we didn't put in a really strong demand wick as well. And we're hitting that 100-day period moving average as P-Gerv is talking about. And so, and I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right in this, where we could see it hit this area and then come back down, boom, pop it, and then see it go back up, right, for the next month. Or we could see it consolidate for next month, right, and then push up towards the end of the quarter where we get back up here into that 108. It's just there's a few scenarios that could happen, but I'm ping-ponging this off of the weekly, monthly, and 3-month chart here because I got to gauge what they're going to do. That's why I'm always looking at the CME chart to see what's actually happening for volume, right? And so if I start to see volume really step in on the continuous chart, or at least stay present and not seeing sell-offs at these lows, that means you're seeing buyers step in. So even at the 29 or even at the 97,000 mark, it's still a low BTC comparative for the year, because remember the highs as of right now where the supply is sitting is at the 126, right? That's really where there's a ton of sellers sitting here, right? They made a lot of money, and there are also a lot of buyers that once it hits its all-time high, a lot of people are trapped there. They're going to sell off their position because they just want to break even. Right? They thought we were going to 250, 300,000. I thought we were, right? I was like, okay, here we go. We're starting to see a pickup in volume, right? But as soon as we started getting here, I was like, no, come on, man. Right, and sure enough, it sold off. I remember we talked about these liquidity areas expecting to come down. I thought we were going to push off the 200. We did not. We continued down. And then once that happened, I said, all right, we've got that 84 to 75 area. So it's just, there's a lot here, not diamond hands, Chads. Yeah, I'm sorry to sidetrack y'all. Yeah.
That's all right.
Who is this? Now I'm like, I don't think you're the person I thought you were. Look at yearly. After a pullback, we win.
There is these hands are made. There is no diamonds in these hands. This is soft coal.
My man over here. It's good to have you, my friend. It's definitely good to have you.
Oh, we got Mr. Parfums back in the house.
Oh, what's up, Parfumes? How you doing? Is he over on YouTube?
Fraz Cater, the Parfum man, is back.
Hey, do me a favor, Parfumes. Patrick, come over to I love having you guys over here on YouTube, but it's we need the engagement over on Puppy.
Injective. I don't think we've spoken about Injective since the last time Mr. Parfums was on here.
Come check us out over at the Rumble connection. Click that. What's up, bud? Hey, I want to stop by and get some perfume. I want to get the elixir, the high quality. So let's check out elixir, or not elixir, but injective. Injective, US dollar, Coinbase.
But P-Gerv and the rest of the crew with Bitcoin, going down, going up first a little bit, and then going down. And in fact, we called it out on the on our monthly outlook here to finish off January with the big move down after the up here. So that's the monthly plan for Bitcoin there, and I'm trading it accordingly.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Perfumes, Fraz. Yeah, man. You can see here we put in last month the seller wick. You can see here, and then this month we're already putting it in as well. This week or last 2 weeks, we're coming in. Yeah, this thing's coming down back to the lows of that 40. The $4, the 413 area. It looks like it's not looking like it's finding support on the 8 period. It tried to, but just didn't. We closed red. So to me, what it looks like is that it's gonna come off and come back down, test these lows. And if we see a big, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we saw a decent rally off of the lows here where you have the liquidity here. Just like kind of similar to this, right? You saw a huge rally up, kind of went up for the week, and then we came and sold back off. It's a similar circumstance with what we're seeing here, in a sense where you saw the rally up, we have the liquidity right here, you saw it push back up, and now it comes down. It tried to find support at that $5 or $5.60 area. You just got decimated. Look, I mean, try to look at the week of the 24th there. It tried, but it couldn't, and they continued to sell off. And if you look at today, or not today, but yesterday, you have a small candle here with a lot of seller wicks sitting in. So there's definitely somebody that wants to drop this even further, or you've got people there that are just selling this off. Um, I don't see a lot of supply wicks coming down, but they've got to get new liquidity. And the liquidity, if they're going to push it back up, is going to be roughly around that four $4.48 to like that 4.15 area. This is really where you're seeing a lot of the supply sitting at, and so that's where I would gauge, um, really like where like what I would expect it to come down to. That 450. It's also another area where you have liquidity. 478, and then at this low over here, lows, which is going to be that the 450, or the 415 area. So that's it in a nutshell for it. Boom. Okay, great. Definitely stop by. Definitely will, brother. Okay, I'll get the Rumble app. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you as well. Same thing with you, Mr. Patty or Patrick. Okay, boom. Good to have you. Nice. Same here. Good. Not a diamond hand.
One of the benefits of the Rumble app versus the YouTube app is that the Rumble app, you don't have to pay the premium cost, $99 a year, for you able to multitask. You know, when you're watching YouTube and you put the app in the background, no more audio. And sometimes you can get around that by watching on Chrome, on a browser, or on Brave browser on your phone. But YouTube constantly works the JavaScript to detect when it's not in focus and turn the audio off. And Rumble app, they're like, no, we want you to be able to listen to it while you multitask. And so you don't have to join Rumble Premium in order to be able just to hear us while you work. That being said, feel free to join Rumble Premium. Use the link down below or something like that, because we get credit for that. But we found that the users like using the Rumble app a lot better. And there's far less tracking. I was curious about the Rumble app, so I put the Wireshark on it, and there's much less tracking going on than the YouTube. YouTube, like half your traffic is just Google tracking you and getting data out of your phone. YouTube just money hungry. Yep, that stock gotta go up. Stock don't go up, everyone get fired.
Pretty much.
All right, Pedro, you said you gotta run.
Yeah, I do gotta get going, guys. Sorry. But I did stick around as long as I could. I just gotta get going. If you guys have any questions, you guys know, always ask Tom. We'll go over. Also, if you leave a comment down in the comment section at the lower part of the actual app itself, we can always go through and handle that for you guys. All right. I appreciate you. Ask anything. Ask me the size of my toe. I won't tell you that, but you can ask anything. Anyways. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody. Much love. And we will see you tomorrow. Finish off the week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. That was a good show today. Remember, Bitcoin going up, then Bitcoin going down, then it'll probably go up again after that. So make sure you take that experienced trading knowledge to the bank. Anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. Man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia. Thank you for your analysis today. We'll be back tomorrow here on DYOR Live. So see ya. There's the right button.